So Barbara, without further, delay, let's go to our first company. Who do we have?
So we have a company called BrightApps. We have Greg McGregor. He is the CEO. He's an industry expert in quantum security solutions, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and innovative custom software solutions. Greg, take it away.
Great. First, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, my name's Greg McGregor. I am the CEO of BrightApps LLC, and we're talking about a concept and product today called Q Cloud. And the problem is cybersecurity. So a successful hack happens about every 39 seconds. Last year, cyber attacks cost small and medium businesses on average $2.2 million. 87% of compromises only took minutes, if not seconds, to happen, yet months to discover. 77% of compromises were fileless. The number of breaches in the first half of 2018 exceeded 2017 in total, and 2017 was 88% over 2016, so we've got a problem and it's growing. Doesn't help, the computing power is on the rise and quantum computing is around the corner. Since 2016, the US has spent $1.3 billion on quantum technology, while China has spent $20.7. That's $13 a second versus $196 per second. So let's talk about Q Cloud. So Q Cloud is based on quantum technology, and that technology is called quantum entropy. Now, entropy is just a measurement of randomness, and today we're going to talk about random numbers as it applies to us. So think of entropy and random numbers as the same thing. So entropy is a foundation for encryption. Every time a key is generated, a certificate, a file is encrypted, connections are made digitally, it requires entropy. The higher the entropy, the stronger. The lower the entropy, the weaker. So how do you measure entropy? Well, our friends at NIST has a toolkit that helps score entropy, and they score true random data at 7.8. I don't know why it's not a 10, but I guess the math works out to be 7.8. So our quantum entropy is 7.8. As we've used this tool set to measure other entropy sources, we're finding out majority of servers out there are actually scoring about a 2.0 on average. However, as the load goes up on servers, the actual entropy score goes down. And when you get down to 1.x or below 1.0, it becomes weak and hackable. So when quantum entropy is injected into an existing encryption or security system, the strength is just magnitude stronger. So what is Q Cloud? Well, Q Cloud is a software toolkit that injects quantum entropy into existing systems and not requiring little or no change to the target system. So what I mean by that is you've got your OS, Q Cloud, and then you install your software stack. And after installing Q Cloud, this software stack will make use of the quantum entropy. So your file encryptions, your other encryption and security measures will be as strong as they can be. We think that's actually a significant and compelling feature of this. So to review, poor entropy makes even the state-of-the-art encryption hackable. So, as an example, I could take like an elliptical curve, generate a public-private key with very low entropy, and knowing the entropy in the public key actually derive the private key. So it's important. So why Q Cloud and why BrightApps? Well, BrightApps is primarily a custom software development company specializing in AI and blockchain and quantum technologies, very advanced stuff. We help startups do new things. We help Fortune 500 companies transform and innovate. So we're experts at taking very sophisticated concepts and technologies and integrating them with ease into systems. So in 2018, we ran across quantum entropy and created Q Cloud to integrate this very advanced technology, making it available in existing systems. And I don't think anyone else has done it exactly like this, so it's rather compelling. And I say that because we've had a number of larger companies and government come to us and say, we really like quantum. When we have this IT software stack and we're trying to figure out how we make all this work. And I said, well, we've been working on something called Q Cloud. Let me share that with you. So as a result of sharing Q Cloud over the last couple of months, this week we signed a research agreement with the Navy, and we've got a number of other partnership agreements and other agreements that are coming out we'll be announcing in the near future. We're in the commercial space primarily, and so again, focusing on startups and and Fortune 500s, we think this can be a fundamental piece for security for the government. And so we're looking for program managers and partners to help us navigate this space. And thank you very much.
Right,
Any
we'll reserve
questions?
the balance of your time. I'll go to the judges and start right now.
Can you clarify who you're selling this toolkit to? Is it the infrastructure, cloud infrastructure provider, or is actually the software developers, the software product? Where does it really reside in that stack?
So on the commercial side, it makes sense. We've actually gone out and created a bunch of Amazon Marketplace templates, so it becomes a horizontal play, like a cloud play. In the Fed space, we've been finding they don't want to put it out there, and it needs to be isolated, so we'll put the whole stack on location on-prem. Does that answer your question?
So becomes part of the infrastructure, not part of the application.
Correct. As part of the infrastructure. If you needed to integrate directly with an application, we've got APIs if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so entropy has a lot of factors, including things like activation data and whether it's a person or a machine. Do you import or affect the entropy at all import or places in that pipeline?
So we actually have partnered with a number of companies that help provide quantum entropy based on photon measurements or radioactive decay measurement, and it turns out that has a really nice NIST score of 7.8.
So in the federal space, I would imagine this technology would have to receive DoD ATO accreditation to be deployed in unsecure and secure environments. Where are you in that process, and what organizations are you working with to receive accreditation, and do you have a sponsor?
So I went to the first government event probably about 6-8 weeks ago, and it's been sort of a whirlwind ever since because it's gotten a lot of traction. I'm just learning about at BrightApps what it means to get those into the government and certification. So we're looking for partners, program managers to help us with that. So we're at the beginning.
Greg, thank you very much for your presentation and providing us information on QCloud. I'm curious, when you talk to the government and some other organizations, what part of the organization are you finding the best traction to get relevancy in terms of your conversations? Is that the CTO level, CIO? How do you get conversations started with the C-suite if you were to tell how QCloud can help their organizations?
That's a really good question. The science and researchers, when I explain it, really sort of get the problem, and they get that this can help as a solution. And so that's been an easy way in, like this, for instance, with the Navy, and then move it from there with the program managers. It has been challenging in the last few months talking to whether it's be CTOs or CEOs about the importance of this. So we're finding it, we have to communicate this a lot, but we're finding the sweet spot sort of with the people that understand the tech, and we're going to have to educate the CTOs and so forth on the importance of this.
Greg, I have a question on your revenue model quickly. Is this a pure product play, maybe with license agreements, or is there services that need to be packaged with this?
So we're exploring both. We haven't released our pricing yet, but we're looking at a service model and a package model to fit both of the customers that we're looking at, whether it be federal or commercial.
And your funding, do you have outside funding, or are you just funding it with things like your contracts that you have with the Navy and the commercial?
BrightApps is primarily funding it right now, and so we are looking for partners and program managers, etc. Just through BrightApps.
Yeah, so NIST is going through a couple of post-quantum algorithm evaluations. I think they're down to the second cut here with the 2025 groups. There are a number of quantum random number generators and generation concepts that are out there in the market now, as well as some photon delivery of the credential, if you will. How do you compare with that from a competitive point of view?
So that's a really good question. We're actually integrating with the QRNG devices into the QCloud. So we support multiple of those. And if you're referring to the photon shooting for keys, the QKD will be integrating that as well. So we're all the software in the middle that makes this easy to use. So once you install all the device drivers and the package on the operating system,
30
the rest
seconds.
make use of it.
You said you put your product in the technology stack below the application, but above the physical hardware, networking hardware. Are you replacing an existing component of that stack? And if so, what are you replacing?
So we're replacing, in that deployment for the operating system, we're replacing the device drivers that provide entropy to the operating system with ours.
Time's up. Excellent. Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Very nice presentation there, Greg.
Thank you.
Barbara, who's our next company?